You've studied this week interventions at city level, and you studied and read several articles. I have summarized for you from these articles the interventions you can implement at city level in order to reduce health. I will present it to you in the following slides. A first intervention you can use is water bodies. Cool air will be created through evaporation. And fountains, for example, provide also a cooling effect. A disadvantage of this intervention is that it can increase local humidity, and the options of this intervention lower when water gets hot, of course. And there is always the risk of drowning in these water pools. A second intervention is the use of grass and plants, so the greening intervention. It provides cooling via evotranspiration. That means transpiration from leaves and evaporation from soil. These interventions will reduce surface temperatures both on the ground and on the walls. A disadvantage of this intervention is that it's costly in water, so high water use. It may increase humidity, and it is also high maintenance. A third intervention is the provision of shading. Shading may mitigate heat radiation, and we distinguish between shading by buildings and shading by using other materials. If you use other materials, you may end up in high cost, and it's also difficult sometimes to decide on the optimal shading strategy. Another intervention is the use of trees. Trees provide shading and they reduce temperature. And they are also helpful in the management of stormwater as they are essential in the ecosystem. A disadvantage, however, is that the potential reduction of vertical airflows in the streets are diminished by trees, and they also may block infrared radiation of buildings. It's rather expensive to implement these interventions, and it's also more expensive to maintain them, and it takes time to be effective because it takes also time to raise a tree. And then another intervention is urban ventilation pathways, and that actually mean that we try to create effective airflows around buildings, and they are especially effective in combination with green and water intervention. Because most buildings are already there, so it's rather difficult to implement it afterwards. And the effects of this kind of intervention depend also on the wind speed and the direction of the wind. Now we have the following intervention, which is transport infrastructure, changing roads, but also the pavement of the roads. By doing that, we hope to reduce greenhouse gas and heat emission, to reduce pavement heating, and to reduce radiation of the pavement. By doing that, a disadvantage can be accessibility of the city, which may be reduced, but also it can be labor extensive, the cost may be high, and it cannot be that effective when not all pavements are coated or changed. And that brings us when the last intervention on this slide, which is active transportation infrastructure. This may lower the cost. Actually, if we stimulate walking or cycling, we hope for health gain, and we hope also for reduced vehicle collision. But the potential heat stress stays when the temperature is high and there are no alternative public transport solutions for the public. And then we have arrived with the last intervention of this presentation, and that is the stimulation of the electric vehicle fleet. We believe this may lower heat and also the carbon dioxide emission, though it goes along with high capital cost. And that are actually the intervention I would like to present to you, which are also written down in the articles you have read, but now summarized by me. And how these interventions come along in heat health action plans, city strategies and city policy. Now that will be covered in the coming weeks. So I will see you then again. Bye.